So this morning I'm on my way to coaching a basic rider course, BRC, in Bedford, Massachusetts. I have two classes today actually. I'm doing double range, doing all the demo riding for two classes. Did the same yesterday, and just on that point, if anyone has ever considered becoming a rider coach, I can strongly recommend it for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that in training to become a rider coach, I learned a huge amount about my own safety and how to keep myself safer on the roads. Learn all aspects, a lot of aspects of rider safety, and just feel so much better as a rider and a safe rider, and my attitude to safety from becoming an MSF rider coach. So if anyone is considering it, that's one reason that I can strongly recommend it: your own safety and attitude to safety. And the other thing is, I mean, you get paid for riding motorbikes. You can choose how often you work. I tend to work 2, sometimes 3 weekends per month, but certainly during July and August, the hot months, it will probably only be 2 weeks per month, and maybe a bit more in the spring and the fall. But it's just a great way to spend a weekend and helping others learn about rider safety. Is a really fulfilling part-time job. And this morning I'm going to be riding a little bit of highway, so I thought I'd pass on just a few very basic tips about riding on the highway. I'm just coming up to my on-ramp here, and sometimes these on-ramps actually are a lot of fun. You know, they're nice curves and you can get your lean on a little bit. But as I'm approaching the entrance to the highway, obviously I'm beginning to be aware, beginning to look around. I use my mirror, and I can see in my mirror is very clear behind me, but I always do the head check. Always do the head check before pulling out onto the highway. That's a really important safety thing, and also for changing lanes as well. We'll do some lane changes on another section of highway in a little bit, but for now I'm going to stay in this lane because in a couple of exits I need to exit and get onto a different highway. But the head check is really important when coming on to a highway, and also for any lane changes. So got a little way to go, not too far, for my exit, and then get onto another highway, which will be Route 3 North in Massachusetts, in the greater Boston area. It's now 6:35 in the morning, not a great deal of traffic around, which is great. Anytime after 2:30 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon on a weekday, this little stretch of motorway is jam-packed. People wanting to get home, leave work early, heading north, and particularly on a Friday, because a lot of people like to get away and go north for the weekend as well. It gets jam-packed here. But today it's nice and clear. So here I am taking my exit. Now here's a little lane change. So I'm checking my mirrors. I have my signal on, do my head check, and traffic would be coming from the right, so I do my head check to the right there and downshift a little bit for the curve. And again, these curves, on and off ramps for motorways can be fun things to ride. Now as I join this highway, there's like a filter lane. I actually, you ride into, you exit the ramp and ride into the right hand lane, which is really nice. I don't need to, I'm still checking my mirrors, but I didn't do the head check because I'm not actually changing lanes, I'm staying in lane. So I'm going to do a lane change now to the left to go into the middle lane. So I'm checking my mirrors, everything looks clear behind me. I'm signal early to let anybody know behind me. I do my head check, then move into the center lane. I always cancel my signal as well. I don't want to make people think that I'm doing something I'm not. Having a signal going when you're not going to make a change is almost as bad as not signaling at all before making one. But that's my routine. I'm checking my mirrors pretty much all the time anyway, but I give an extra check before I signal. I signal early, I do my head check, then I maneuver and cancel. When I'm on the highway, I tend to ride in the middle lane like this. If I'm going any distance, I tend to ride in the middle lane for a couple of reasons. First of all, if anything occurs in front of me, I've got an escape path to my left, or potentially I've got an escape path to my left and also to my right. I need to be aware of what's around me to make sure that those escape paths are valid, if you like. That there's not someone in my blind spot and things like that. But it does, if anything happens up ahead, I've got options to my left and to my right if I'm in the center lane, when possible. Sometimes highways are only 2 lanes, and if this was a 2-lane highway, I would still be in this lane, like not in the right-hand lane, because I avoid oncoming traffic at the on-ramps, traffic joining the highway, I should say, by staying in the outer lane. And there's another reason why, if it's a 3-lane highway, I try to ride in the middle lane. I have this theory that is completely unsubstantiated, but it makes me feel a little bit better, that if I'm riding in the middle lane, I'm less likely to get stopped and get a ticket than if I'm riding in the outside lane there. That's just my theory. I have no data to support it whatsoever, and of course, I don't exceed the speed limit, so I wouldn't have anything to worry about anyway. But anyway, so that's a couple of reasons why I like to ride in the middle lane if I have the option on a 3-lane highway. Now, if there was a lot of traffic here, and I could, or if there was a slower car in front of me, I would overtake using the outside lane, but then I tend to move back into the middle lane. The middle lane is my predominant travel lane on a 3-lane highway. Now my exit is coming up, so I'm checking my mirrors. I've set my signal. I'm going to do my head check to the right. All clear. I move into the right lane and cancel my signal. This is my exit. This is just like a lane change, really. So I've checked my mirrors, not really worth doing a head check to the right, but I'm just kind of looking around and I'm doing a lane change basically into the exit. Downshift a little bit, choose my riding line, and I'm turning left. So I'm staying wide a little bit, but I know I'm turning left. Come into my apex, and then I'm in my lane ready. Ready to turn left, have to wait for the light. Sometimes this light can take a while. Patience is something we need sometimes when we're riding motorcycles as well. Whenever I'm going anywhere, especially like to the range for classes, I always leave early, give myself plenty of time so I don't have to feel in a rush and I can enjoy the ride. There are times that I've been stuck at that light there for what seems like 5 minutes. I attached a couple of strong magnets to my center stand on the bottom of the bike, 4 pretty strong magnets, and I found that since I did that, I haven't kind of done a scientific study on it, but I have a pretty strong feeling that since I did that, the light changes a little more quickly for me. That's a tip that I picked up on YouTube and seems to be working for me. So that was just a few very basic tips for riding on the highway that I use. And I said in a previous video, I'm not an expert on rider safety. I have learned some things from being a rider coach, but by no means an expert. But these little things that that I use to help keep me safe on the road, I like to pass them along, and if anyone can make use of them, that's great. And if they don't want to make use of them, that's also like a personal choice. And there are many other resources available for getting tips for improving your safety on the road, and I watch them and read them as much as I can, because I want to get as much information as I can about being safer on the road when I'm riding my motorbike. And I strongly recommend to everyone, learn as much as you can about rider safety and staying safe on the roads. And I think for me as well, I think that since I've been riding a motorbike and learning about staying safe on a motorbike, I think I've also become a better car driver. So there are other benefits. So if anyone found that helpful, that's great. Leave a comment by all means, and I'll try to do another safety video at some point as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.